The writer of this hymn was a woman known as Julia Ward Owe. Julia Ward Owe was born into a very rich family in the New York City in 1819. This woman was descendant of Roger Williams, and she mixed socially with very great luminaries like Henry Wadsworth Fellowship and Charles Dickens, who are great authors like her. In 1843, she got married to one man, Samuel Gridley Owe. Samuel Gridley Owe was such a very autocratic husband who stopped Julia from her enthusiastic activities. He took charge of all the money left for her, and she managed it recklessly until it gets it all ruined. Julia, when Samuel died in 1876, she wrote in her diary that starting my new life because of her turbulent experience. Julia used her writing and speaking skill to champion some causes which include women's rights, reform education, and abolition of slavery. And actually, she fancied some people that are in the business of abolition of bad practices those days. Earlier in 1861, she traveled to Washington, D.C., where he met with President Abraham Lincoln. She also visited one Union Army camp, where she heard the army that they were singing about one of their heroes, one of their general, James Brown, that James Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. She was so impressed, and our pastor, the Reverend James Clark told her that he will like her to bring new words to that tune so that that song can be sung in a different way. That night in her hotel room, word of inspiration came to her mind as she tried to sleep. And she quickly picked a piece of paper, she jotted everything down hastily. Then she sent that poem to one organization called the Atlantic Monthly Magazine, which published it in February 1862. That poem bagged her a check for $5, which was big money those days. This song actually became so popular because when the chaplain of the army unit, when she heard it, that is Chaplain C.C. Maccabee, he was so impressed and started teaching it to the army under his command. This song soon gets to the other soldiers in other units, and then to ordinary citizens all across the Union States, as they were called that time. That song becomes so popular and make Julia Owe become so famous. Actually, this song was actually phrased in the language of the second coming of Christ. Because when we look at the first stanzas, when I always said grapes of wrath, that actually is referring to the statement in Revelation chapter 14, verse 19, where it was expressed that the great widespread of wrath of God. Then the next stanza, this is where we want to lay emphasis. Where I always said, the trumpet that shall never sound retreat. The trumpet that shall never sound retreat. I think it is relevant because this hymn is hymn number 488 in the Baptist hymnal. I don't think it is in the Yoruba. I think it's Reverend Wedokun that interpret it into Yoruba. I just saw the Yoruba interpretation, the third stanza. I think this is where the emphasis, that actually that phrase that the trumpet that sound no retreat is actually talking to soldiers who are on the battlefield. When they are confused, they need to actually take instruction through the sound of trumpet. So this sound of trumpet that sound no retreat was actually a great inspiration to those soldiers those days. Those soldiers may not be more today, but you and me, we are those soldiers that we should listen to that trumpet that sound no retreat. In Yoruba here, I can read it and I appreciate it better when Reverend interprets it that ohun agogo ọ̀run dún wípé ká tẹ̀síwájú. Ó ń sọ fún gbogbo ènìyàn wípé ìdájọ́ rẹ̀ fẹ́ẹ̀ dé, as Reverend Adeniji has just preached. Múra tán ìwọ ọkàn wa kó o sì bú sí orin ayọ̀, àwa ń tẹ̀síwájú. So I really appreciate. I think that is, in that stanza, that is what Julia is actually referring to. This song became so popular that in 1965, one singer sang it in the inauguration of one of their presidents. And Andy Williams actually sang the song again in 1968 during the burial of President Robert Kennedy. This is how very, very popular this song is. Thank you.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Shall we be on our feet as we sing this last hymn? Page 28. Àwa tí a bá lè kọ ní èdè Yorùbá náà, a lè kọ Yorùbá rẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀. Page 28 in English version. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. The fourth and the last stanzas. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grace of God has taught. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible switch round. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Our church is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. In the glory, in his bosom that transfigures you and me. And he died to the death to make me free. God's word is marching on. Sing glory, 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 hallelujah, hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah. God is marching on. Oh go, hallelujah. Oh go, hallelujah. Oh go, hallelujah. Ìjọ ń tẹ̀síwájú. Lọ́dún 2024, ayé wa ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ilé wa ń tẹ̀síwájú. Iṣẹ́ wa ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ìjọ wa ń tẹ̀síwájú. Jésù Olúwa wa.